kick off for today. Um, all right, so you're welcome to another class. This is just going to be one of those. This class is going to be one of those, will I say, interesting classes because um, sort of like a fun little class that we're having today because we're going to be exploring Adobe character animator. Um, Adobe character animator is a very interesting software. I think we should probably enjoy this class. It's not going to be quite long. It's actually quite simple, what I will show you today. But I would want you to go home and explore it, play with it, check it out, and yeah, you can actually create some nice animation from it. So it's a 2D animation software for creating and animating characters essentially. It's not as difficult as the other things we've been talking about now. Yeah, so that's why I say this is a very interesting class because it's gonna be quite fun and more just like we're playing with it essentially. But yeah, you can use to do some nice things if you are creative enough, essentially. Yeah. So I would quickly just show you what that is and how it goes. So let me share my screen. Um, mm, sorry. Where's my share screen? Screen one. Oh, this. Okay, screen one. All right. Okay, I assume we can all see my screen. So today we're going to talk about Adobe Character Animator. Adobe Character Animator is another software from Adobe, like Photoshop, After Effects, Illustrator, so on and so forth. It's another package from the guys at Adobe. It's like I said, a 2D animation software used for creating and animating characters. I think it's most widely used for um why are you showing me Premiere Pro? It's most widely used for would I say, I mean, how I've seen it used nowadays is streamers, YouTube streamers, street streamers, people who do a lot of live streaming. Whenever you see this character or cartoon face as the person that is talking, usually they made use of Adobe Character Animator because it has this amazing feature that you can literally animate, live on screen. So you don't necessarily have to record the animation or animate it per se. You have to just use your camera as sort of webcam or reference. Then the animation would move based on your face or based on things that you've already set. For example, you can see the way they animated this particular thing. They have several actions that have been created. So you just select the action on your timeline, drag it, and then from there to change the actions per time. Essentially, that's one way. It also has a what they call body tracking feature where you can track your body in real time. So you turn on your camera, you have your cartoon character on stage, and then whatever you do on camera, the character will do on the stage live, essentially. So you can actually use this animation output and make it to be like, let's say, a webcam on your Google Meet or Zoom or Skype, So usually use for more of real-time stuff. But that does not mean you can't use it for animation because you can also record the animation. So let's say you are acting something in real life, right? And the character is copying your motion. You can now record that motion and then of course export it as a video file. So it's actually quite interesting. Like it's just it's just a fun little software that can be used for a lot of advanced things, depending on your creativity. A lot of guys on YouTube, you can check out many videos on YouTube. I think the person I would recommend that you check out is OK Samurai on YouTube. How do you spell Samurai? Samurai. So check this guy out on YouTube. He's very popular and not really popular, but he's sort of the best person I've seen that's really dives into this software a lot, right? So check him out. Watch his videos on the software. I think he's also one of the people who works at Adobe. Surprisingly enough, and he's also an artist. So he's probably the best person that will give you advice on how to use the software. Being a developer and also being an artist. So yeah, he has lots of videos on his channel. Just check his channel on YouTube. You would see an in-depth tutorial on how to use the software. Everything is here. But yeah, so today I will just demonstrate how to use it. To just get you up and running, essentially. So the software, like I said, is called Adobe Character Animator. So I'll open it up here because I already have it installed on my system. And you would also download the software after now, so you can try that as well. So let's check it out. So usually, of course, you should have a webcam, and also a microphone. I don't know if your system mic that comes in that comes into your system, it might not really be so good, essentially. So I'll recommend you use something maybe like an earpiece that can copy the sound. So you can see like the webcam is over here, right? And this is the character that I created as a sample. So once my face is moving around, it's tracking my face, the character also does the same motion, essentially. So if I do like this, you know, so I'm not necessarily animating the character, but the character is copying my motion in real time, right? Um, I disabled several things. I disabled lip sync. But I can disable the facial tracking. So if I disable this, for example, it doesn't track my face. But if I enable it back, it moves according to my face. And you see when I blink, it also blinks. Um, Now usually when you have it up run for the first time, you might need to calibrate your settings here, which is this option. You just press it, and then it will track your face. See my face now is being tracked. So it will be more accurate. So I recommend that when you click calibrate, you wait for like 5 seconds. Just be stiff, very very stiff. It will balance the character, and then you can now begin to move around. So it will follow my face and it's actually tracking my face. When I blink, it blinks. When I move, it moves. Yeah, so that's the software. So I'm going to show you how it will look like when you first open it up for the first time. Because this is not the way to look like. So I'll just open a new file, a new project, a new project. What do I call it? What did I call this one? Sir? Did I save this project? Let me save it so I don't lose that file. All right. Well, let me save that on that thing. Let me call it. Okay. So yeah, let me make a new document for demonstration. So like I said, it's actually going to be very like fun little class, and I'm sure we will enjoy this. Okay. Let's see. So I'll open up a new document for the sake of the class, so you can follow along. All right. Um, all right. So if I go back to my home, this is what you should probably see when you first open up the software. There are a lot of characters that come with the software by default. Sample characters you can play with, so many of them. So let me just open one of them as a sample, just as a very quick sample. Which one should I open now? This one that has a head, that has a face, a dominant face. Which one should I use now? Let me just use this one. Let me use the girl character. So by default, it's going to open up the webcam. So you can see the options here, the buttons here. See this one here. If I click this option, it's going to disable my camera. So it's not going to use my camera as a reference again. So if I move my face, it doesn't know what I'm doing, right? So I have to enable that back on. Then if I also have like maybe if I want to stand up, right? And maybe this was like a character that had like a full body and I want to animate the body based on my own motion, I will enable this option here. This will track the entire body, right? But this tracks only the face. This one tracks the body. And this last one tracks the sound. So you see, I have a mic here. So that's my audio input that is using to lip sync the character, right? Um, then now these are different options. These are different track options that I can enable or disable. So over here, you see that this is the eye gaze. So this tracks my eye motion, where my eyes are moving at. But first of all, like I said, you have to calibrate it so it's more accurate. So I'll click this button, stay a bit, and okay. So this eye gaze, you can animate it moves based on the eyes. So if I move my eyes, it tries to track where my eyes are looking at. This other one is for the face. So let me first disable the eye gaze. So you can enable or disable by this clicking this option here. This will just disable the eye animation. So it's not going to like move the eyes because it's not tracking my eyes again. Right. Then secondly, you also have the face option here where you can use like your face, so when I move my face around, the character also moves like that. So even when I blink, character blinks. So if I leave my eye closed, it's gonna be closed. Open my eyes, it's gonna be open. So I can also disable the facial track by clicking this option here. And now the face doesn't move based on my facial track. Lip sync does what it says, it tracks your lip. So as I'm talking, say the mouth is moving. But if I disable that option, it's not going to move. The mouth is now like stationary. Then physics, let me enable the facial track first. So you see that when I move, see things move around like the head, bags, like things are like moving, as though they're like in the real world. Like the hair, you see the way the hair is moving, reacting to the motion of the hair of the face. If I disable the physics, that would remove that option entirely. So I mean, some things are still moving because this is a very advanced rig with other things that are enabled. But essentially, physics has been disabled. Yeah, so I can enable that to like for it to be more accurate. Yep. We also have more options here, transform, just a lot of things. Triggers. These are things that have been set by default. So if we let's now look at what triggers are, let's move to the left side or yeah, left side of our screen. You see here we have triggers. So we have different triggers here. So for example, if I click this trigger, see that you see this one is saying that the eyes will open, or sorry, heart eyes. This trigger enables heart eyes, right? So if I click that icon there, the eyes have changed to hearts. Okay. Then another one, surprise trigger. So the face is now like a surprise face. So I'm sure you get what this does. It really just changes the character. You can set triggers for different things. You also have excited trigger. So let me click that option again so to change the. Apparently this one is not working. I guess it's lagging for whatever reason. Yeah. But another way you can also use triggers um is you can come over here, right? Let's see here. So you see that this corresponds to the keyboard. So number one on my keyboard brings out uh, fat eyes, right? See here, one, enable or disable. Two does, the other option. This does excited, the eye sparkle when I press three on my keyboard. And four reduces or brings out that little stuff here. So as I'm just much, so you just imagine as I'm talking, right? I could just, maybe I'm doing like this. Let me enable the lip sync. I'm talking. Let me disable this also. Let me just use the regular one. So what happened to eyes? Okay. So imagine as I'm talking, I'm doing like this, you know. So I could actually, as I'm doing this, like on my keyboard, I could press either of these numbers to make it correspond to whatever action I want to like portray. So maybe I'm like, oh, I'm so surprised. Why are you something like that? You know? So you see that when I press two on the keyboard and I say surprise, I just press two so it would look as if the character was like surprised. So, or maybe I'm like, oh, I love this thing. I love it so much, right? I don't have to animate it per se. I just have to use a trigger, and that enables it in real time, right? So, like I said, these are controls. So you can also disable this entire thing by disabling the triggers from here. So triggers will no longer work essentially. When I press it, it doesn't work. So that's how you can enable or disable it entirely from here. Yep. So this is also a timeline. Like everything we've ever discussed in animation, they all have a timeline. So this is more useful if I wanted to actually record the animation, right? And remember I told you that this actually works in real time. But you could also record the animation if you want to like watch it as a video file, right? So let me just do a quick example. So let's put it in T2. Okay? So now you see that as I'm moving around, it's recording it, the timeline is moving, right? I can say, oh, I love this. I love it so, so, so much. And then my eyes sparkle, sparkling, and then goes back to normal, right? So everything that I did or I'm still doing is being recorded, you know. So I can stop it and it's gonna like save all those information here. So um it has updated every single thing. So you see it's all the track that my face track, my lip sync, the triggers, everything have been automatically added to my timeline, right? So if I play back the animation, it's going to also play the audio. You see the audio here. It was also recording what I was saying. So if I press play, I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know if you hear the audio, but I'm actually hearing what I said at that point in time. So when I play this, okay, so that's just a very so you can actually record the animation. Mhm. So I mean, like I said, it's a very fun little software that you can use for practically serious work. But it's a very nice and simple way of animating. You can also edit the actions. So I can also drag things around in my timeline. Maybe I don't want it to be that quick. So I can literally adjust every single thing. And even my lip sync, I can also make changes to the lip sync. If I zoom in a bit, so my right, see the mouse here. Um, this option here, I can zoom in or zoom out from my timeline. Um, so you see that all the this is a lip sync layer. All the words I was saying, it was trying to capture will I say the phenoms or phonemes, or will I say the major sound shapes that the mouth would make. So you see that if I zoom in now, let me zoom in a bit more. You see that we have like things like E, D, U, H. So it was automatically trying to that's what they call auto lip syncing, where it automatically tries to guess how my mouth would have been shaped in that point in time. So the character can also be, saying or look like he's saying the same thing. So you see that these things here were done automatically, right? So I can as well drag them around, maybe I want to adjust the settings. They are all editable. I can change them around if I want. I can if I hover my mouse and I right click, it will give me all the phonemes. So I can say, okay, maybe this is not supposed to be D, this is supposed to be maybe R or something. I can change that on the fly. Yeah, so it's quite editable. You can do a lot of things with it. Um yeah, that's the timeline. So all we have been doing has been in the record section, right? Over here, you see there's a record section. There's also a stream section, which I told you about, that I said that it's for usually people that do a lot of live streaming. Maybe you want to appear for a video meeting on Google Meet or Zoom, and you want this character to be the person that they will be seeing in the call. So you can actually use this option here, and you go to the stream, and then you can capture. So there's a software, another software you can install that will capture this entire thing and make it a webcam in quote. So when you go to like a Google Meet, you can select this software as a webcam. So what you are doing here is going to just replay this character instead of your face, as a real life video. So I'm sure the people who are watching that will be very, very surprised, seeing a cartoon as the character. But yeah, that's how you can actually do that as well from here. That's if you want to like do live streaming. But usually all for the animation is all done in the recording section here. So let's check out this other option. So this is the project window where you can see all your files. So my recordings that I did now, when I hit the record button, it saved an audio file here. So they're all saved in my projects window. So if I open it, you see here, that's the file here. We also have our character called Ring. That's the character here. Then our scene that we created, by default. So we have everything. So all of your files, like After Effects, maybe you want to import an image, they're all going to be done in this same window, just like After Effects. So it's basically the same thing. Um, then we also have the rigging section entirely, a whole new section. Now, I'm just quickly say something. So let's say I actually want to change the character features, right? Because normally you can be like you can be very detailed in how you do your characters. This was a default character that I just opened up. You remember, I didn't like create it from scratch. But I can change some of the features and I can even swap out everything to my own character, you know. So usually this software, I recommend you start with a template most times because it actually makes life a lot easier. So let's say I want to like change more features of my character. So I mean, when I select the character here, ring, see this icon here, see this sorry, someone's mic is on. Can you help me? All right. All right. So um so when we click our character here, see the icon here, you see this option here, which is tell you edit the original artwork. So usually this opens up Photoshop. I don't think I have Photoshop installed on my system. But if you had Photoshop, it will open up Photoshop. So what you should do is that I actually set my own to use Photo P. So Photo P is my Photoshop in quote. So if I click that button, it's going to ask me to open Photo P. So I will do that. So actually I installed Photo P. So if you want to edit your character, I recommend if you don't have Photoshop, just use Photo P. I didn't use the web version. I installed it like as a software itself. So how do you install it? Let me just show you how you install Photo P, just like the regular software. So go to the website. So you would see a very obvious option. Let's see now. So think let me see. Try to remember how did I actually install Photo P again. So let me just go back to the what do you call it, the main Google. So let me see Photo P. Download. Okay. I think it has oh, okay. I think it's because I already have it installed. If you didn't have it installed, there's something you should be able to you should bring out an option to install, you know, run run on your run on your desktop. I can't see the option now. But if you don't have it installed, you should be able to find the option here. So you just install it as a software on its own. So if I go to my like desktop, it's gonna be like an app on my system. So I think another way, let me see, there should be an option. So I think it's also now is not showing the option, but you want to show that option if it's not installed. So you will see like install, somewhere, it's pop up somewhere. Um, so you just click install and it will install it. Yep. So I think it should actually be here. You see an option here, install uh, your browser. Okay, so once you have it installed, so when I open up my Marine character and I press this Photoshop button, to ask me what program do you want to use, and you select Photo P. So when I have mine opened, so I will just click open. So it's going to open up the character in all the layers. All the layers will be open up in Photo P. So you see all like the layers, see head. So you say group, right? See the head layer is divided into different parts. The bags, the hair bags. You also have the nose, you have the eyes, see the groups. So basically, what you would do in your own case that you would actually change the features from here. So let's say okay, let me just use a very simple example. Where are you? Upper body. I think it's what I'm looking for. Yeah, upper body. So let's say I want to change like her hair, maybe even her skin color, right? Maybe I want to make her like a dark color person. So this is like a layer. So I just opened the layer that was for that. So it's just like our drawing tools that we usually have. You can actually change the color. I can change the color from here. I can say, oh, okay, let me use my paint tool and change that color scheme to a different color. So let me look for my gradient tool, paint bucket. Okay, let's try paint bucket. Let's change the color. Click this color here. Just use a random color, just for quick demonstration. Okay, maybe now. So I think that's the correct layer. So I can change that color, right? Just as a sample. So although I think Photoshop actually makes it, Photoshop works better, you know. To be honest, so you actually have to install Photoshop. Because I know there are some issues that this thing has because this is not actually Photoshop. Um, yeah, but it's better than you know. So I think it's gonna update. I think it's going to update by default. So because I'm actually editing the raw file, so it's gonna just update automatically. So once I save it in Photo P, it's gonna update here. So just imagine the possibilities. So if you are good at drawing, you can literally just draw out a different character. Maybe this body section, draw out a new body part for it, right? So maybe just draw an entirely new thing, and it's going to update here for you. So that's a very quick way of like doing your own characters if you want. You can also import images. Maybe you can use an image file. Maybe in case you don't want to like draw, maybe the eyes, for example. Now, let's say I want to draw these eyes, right? I can obviously just go on like my browser and just say anime eyes. Yes, that's the kind of eyes that are there. I just say, okay, let me get a brand new character eyes. Maybe I want to use these eyes, for example. You know, so I can get these eyes, and let me copy the image and open up my photo P. So where are the eyes there? Let me use this one as a sample. I'll open up the eyes. Well, that's a lash. So it's all divided. So that's what I'm looking for. You have to find exactly what you're looking for. So that's what I'm looking for. So I can just control V, right? Because I already copied it from yeah, so I can essentially adjust the eyes, because I think this is the right eye. So I can flip that eye with this eye, you know. So just normal Photoshop editing, I can cut this out. So when I highlight this, I can press Ctrl X to cut that out. So I can just move this. Let's select first. So I can move this to replace that eye. I know I'm like really modeling the whole character, but it's just a sample. So I can even do the second eyes if I want like that. But essentially, I've changed the eye to my own eye. Um, so you know, that character will be so messed up if I save it. But once I save the file, it also updates here too. So that's how you can just like make a new character if you want. So that's a more detailed way of doing it. So I can literally draw my own characters from here if I'm good at drawing, or maybe call someone to draw it for you, but you can literally create your own character. But another quicker way is there's also what they call like a puppet maker in Character Animator. So let me go back to the main menu and let me show you what that looks like. So you see that we have this option here. We have puppet maker, right? So I'll click make a puppet. So a lot of options here. It's going to open up a whole new window where I can literally customize my character. So I think it's following my face. It's still tracking my face. So but I can disable that from here. The same option. So it just remain static. Well, let's enable that. So let me see how that reacts on in real time. Yeah, let me also try and track the body. So the hands are like totally messed up. So I'm actually moving my hands. That's why it's actually moving the hands there too. But I might have to calibrate it, well. And of course, I'm not staying well. But yeah, you can actually track your body motion as well, your entire body if you want. Okay, so let me disable that for now. So yeah, I can customize the character, change the hairstyle, change the color. Everything is editable. So in case I don't want to go through that long and manual process, I can just use this option as well. Yeah, so give him glasses, and you get the idea. Just go wild with it. Yeah, so this is like a template. I can make all the changes I want here. I can also just use another template. So let me try this, and I can also edit this template. So these are all templates I can work on. So yeah, I guess it's taking a while. Oh, someone's in the waiting room. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that earlier. So yeah, I think while we're here, please just try and fill in your attendance. I'm going to share that link again now so you can have a look. So you just fill the attendance before you leave the class so you don't forget. All right, so I think it's still important. So like I said, this is just like a very, you know, I know when I discovered this whole process, it was quite exciting, and I really played a lot with it. And I've seen people that do actual commissions with the software. A whole animation project with this software. It depends on your creativity. This is a full character. Yeah. So of course I can also change the settings. So I'm moving my head around. That's why it's moving. She's moving her head around. I can change the hairstyle. Can't do anything. I can change the hair color. I can change even the thing she's wearing, eyebrows, even the hands. Okay, this is a full character that has been fully, so I can customize every single thing to what I want. Um, yeah. So I mean, there are so many more options here, so many more. I can play with these options and just choose a template and edit that template to my own taste. Right. So let's just work with this one now. Let me call this um let me just call it Taiwo. So if I generate that character with that name, it's going to save, it's going to create a project for me, essentially. It's going to create the Photoshop files, it's going to create the scene, it's creating the rig, it's creating everything for me automatically. Um, so it will just like give me a good start, right? And if for whatever reason I'm actually like really, maybe I don't, maybe I'm not satisfied with the customization, I can also, like I showed you before now, open up the Photoshop settings and really fine tune it, and even draw it the way I like, right? But this is a way you can create a brand new character soon. So when I move, also moving.
Okay.
When I also do, I think I can track so many things. They're all customizable. The hands. So see, this character has more triggers. You know, they have triggers for the hand, how the hand turns. So you look at this. Look at this hand here by the left. So I can change the triggers from here. Um, you know, and I can also press the corresponding numbers here, maybe 7 or my 6. So that changes the hand. And these are all triggers for different things. That's for the eyes, kind of eyes blink. So like I already said, you can literally record your scene. So once I press the record button, um, so let's just so you see as I'm doing this, moving around, it's actually reflecting in the animation. I can use the triggers. I can change the hand, make her close her eyes. Let's see. Where are the eyes? Okay, here are the eyes. Close the eyes, open the eyes. You know, look tired. Yeah. So let's stop it here. Everything I did was recorded. So it's going to populate my timeline now. It's going to populate the timeline. Just give it a second because there's a lot of things. So yeah, okay. So here we are. So I can go back and play it and see and check it out. Right. So this is actually just like an animation, essentially. Um, so this is the timeline, like I already said before, is very customizable. Now you see that this background, you know, you can also change the background if you want. Um, because apparently, let me click my character. So when I have the background actually is like a trigger as well. So I can change the background, you know, and I can also put my own background if I want, right? Um, can change my background to something else. So for example, let's say um, let me see. Okay, I think that's a transparent background if I want. So, but I can also change this in my Photoshop. Okay, so let me open up this in the Photopea. So you check it out. So even the background. So let's check this layer here, background layer. So these are all the backgrounds that you saw. So like I already said before now, you can also change the backgrounds if you want. You can maybe put a new image here from internet. Maybe even draw your own background if you want. Yeah. Then if you can also import your animation to After Effects, essentially, and work on it further. Um, maybe you can just do the characters here, right? Then you can now do the backgrounds in After Effects or anything you want to do. So one thing that you could do is you could actually do yeah, the link. So I'll share the link again now. Please read the attendance before you leave the class so you don't miss the attendance. Okay, so in the so I can change this like a green screen. If you've been attending our classes, you will know that there's what they call like a green screen that you can use to remove backgrounds, right? So if I use like a green color now, and just maybe cover this background with a green color. So let's change that color to green, right? So um, let me just save this for a sample, to make sample. So let me go back to my, it's going to update that thing automatically. So there's actually benefit to using green screen. How I use the software if I want to like do an animation is that I would um I would use the one that has a green screen, right? This this has a green screen. So I can record the animation and do everything I want. So where I can now save it as a file, right? So let me save this now. Let me export this. So I can export it as you see here. You can export it as a video, PNG sequence, so on and so forth. So I'm going to use, let me use this to export as, just export as a video file. So now it's going to save it as, so let me just save it on my downloads folder, right? Save it there. So what happened now? Let me see. I think it's in the queue. Okay. So it should be exporting now. So you might have to install this software called Adobe Media Encoder, because this is what is used to export. I don't know if it's an easier or like faster method of doing it, but it's going to ask you to export with the software. So let me wait for it to export. But what that does is that you're going to save it as a normal file, as a video file that you can like watch, maybe even using that software like After Effects if you want. Um, yeah, my stem is really trying to cope because I have a lot of programs opened up and it's still like animating it. But yeah, this is the media encoder software. So it's going to like automatically just render it out from here. So you see here, see that's the file here. So I just click play. That's to export. So it's going to export. Um, it's going to export that as an MP4. So this software, I will also share the link if you want to export it. But I recommend that you see that I have version 2022 installed. I also have the same version installed of the character animator. So I think you should install, like, don't install character animator 2024 and install media encoder 2022. It might not work, right? So if you, whichever one you install, just install the same year throughout, so you don't like have any issues. So I installed both 2022. That I've been using for a while, so I don't really have need to update it. The same one here too. So once you have that option, it would like sync, right? So like I said, I went to file, export, and then I use this first option here, media encoder. So you can also use this option here where you say video with alpha. Alpha means transparent background, basically. When you say alpha, alpha just means transparent. So what you're saying is that you can export it as a transparent background, right? And obviously you have to come here and select this transparent background option here. This would make it transparent. Yeah, apparently it just gives me a green screen. But I guess when you come here to your export and use this option, it's gonna like be transparent. But I don't think MP4 has a transparent option. So I recommend that you just use this first option because the only one that I know that works with without having installed this software, media encoder, you can use this option here, which is PNG sequence and wave. So let's say you don't like install that software again, like I want to just use it like with this software alone, right? Maybe you don't like want to install this big software again because it's quite large. You could just use this option here. You select export and then use this PNG sequence and wave. This will export it as a group of images as it actually is originally, right? So I recommend this computer. Okay. So yeah, I can use the option. So like I said, when you want to export as a PNG sequence, I recommend that you create a new folder, call it whatever you want to call it. So let me just call it export or something. Should I remember that? So what happens is that if I click save, it's going to export it as individual images. I hope it doesn't make my system full again. Um, so let me open the folder so you see what I'm talking about. In my downloads, exports. There are individual frames, images. So you can see that. I guess I used the wrong settings. This one says the background. So, but you see how they are all images, like individual images, that make up the entire animation. So it's going to export all these main images for you, right? This is like how it would import in After Effects. Okay, so that's another option if you want, whichever you prefer. Just that this option is quite. I'm sure it's going to be quite large. This folder will be quite large. This will be quite like compared to an MP4 video. One image is just 170. One image is 1.7 megabytes. Imagine how many images it's going to export. So it's going to be like very large. So that's the downside if you don't like install the media encoder. But whichever option you use is fine. So let me just cancel it so I don't waste my space. But that's how you can record it and save it out. So let me check out the. So what I'll do lastly, oh, you didn't even change the background for me. What I'll do lastly is that I'll show you how you can take it to After Effects and apparently maybe use it on your project if you want. Maybe do a cartoon that you are doing it. Maybe for some of your capstone project, you could maybe just do a character that's like talking and saying, "Oh, welcome to our whatever, our new launch or something." Um, then you can now show your other animation. But let me show you how you can. So first of all, I've shown you how you can export it as a video file, right? But let's say you export it as a PNG sequence like this, and it doesn't really make much sense now because you didn't install media encoder. So when you open up your After Effects, let me try to import this in After Effects, and that's what we round up for today. So before I do that, any questions so far as I continue? As I round up now, any questions? Something that you didn't really understand? Just let me know so I will address it before I move on. So the floor is open. Okay. I guess this has opened up. Let's just wait a bit. So apparently, I guess there are no questions. That's fine. So let me show you how you would import that in After Effects, and then you can continue working on the file if you want. System is quite slow. I think I have so many things opened up here. What was this one say? All right, so let me just quickly do a new composition. Um, so how do you import an image sequence? So you right click, normally you usually import a file. So when you head to the folder, which is this export folder, right? Um, so you select the first image. Just select or select any image actually, any image in the sequence. See this option here. Enable. Make sure you tick that option. PNG sequence. So that means that it's going to know that this is a sequence of an animation, not just a single image. So enable this option here and click import. One thing you also do is that you right click, check, confirm that the frame rate is correct. So when I go to my right click and I select interpret footage and click main, right? From here, it's going to show you the frames per second it's using. So ensure it's in 24 frames per second, not something else. So enable this option, 24, right 24 there. it's not already written there, then press OK. So when you drag it to your timeline, it's going to be like a normal video that you can watch. And of course, you can now be like animate it and do more things essentially. Yeah, that's how you can add it to your composition in After Effects. So that's for the image sequence. So let me now quickly do this last. My system is really lagging. Let me just save this camera. Save with the audio. So okay. Let me do a quick. Let me let me do a quick you know. So let me export it with a background that has a green background. So allow me to export. All right. Okay. So let's try again. I already did that before now. Export. Let me just use this again. PNG sequence. So I don't waste too much time. Mm, Let me just delete everything here. Let me go back and delete everything here. Okay, let me export again as a new. Just call this one. Oh, I hope this gives me the right thing I'm looking for. Oh, it's still giving me this colored background. I wonder why. But let me confirm. Not supposed to be doing that. Let's see. So let me see. Okay, okay, okay. I think I know why. Um, I think I know why. Because in my actual animation, remember, I think I know why. Because when I first recorded the animation, I didn't change the background, so it's still using this first one here. You know, so it's actually supposed to be in this one here. So that's in the triggers option. So this is just because I didn't change it before I started recording. And of course, if I had changed this option here, this one is the one that's currently active, you know, and I went to go and change the second one instead of the first one. So I can just make that slight change from here. So I will change this one to green. So it should work. Let's save it. That's the correct background that I should actually have used. So let's try again. So just begin to think about how you do your animation, maybe even use your caption project, or if you like, even like do a small project, essentially, you can use the software. Okay, let's try again. Export the end sequence. Um, yeah, let's delete that. Let's start again. Delete and save. So I think if I actually let this thing finish exporting to the end, it's going to export both the PNG sequence and it's going to also export the voiceover that I was doing when I was talking. So it's going to export both the PNG sequence and it's going to also export the audio file. So that I can take those two and join them in After Effects, right? I don't know if I can wait this thing to finish, but let's check it out. The folder, where's that folder? Let me check the folder again. I think I saved it in my downloads, exports, and scene. Yeah, this way it's all saved. So yeah, now it's correct background, green screen. Um, can I wait? Let me just wait. So I will also want you to guys to use as a take-home exercise. Try to see if you can create a character and also do an animation too, essentially. And share it with the group. Let's see what you can come up with. And also as an addition, this is just like trying to reach for the highest level. If you could also maybe see how you can use it in your caption project. I don't know how you do it, but if you can find a way, that would be nice. That'd be very nice. Yeah. So it should finish now. So you see that when I have my paint sequence here, these are all the frames that make up the animation, all the images, and then this is the the audio file. So let me import this in After Effects. Let me show you how that works. So let me delete this one. But it's fine. Let me just leave it there. Import, or you press Control I. You select the first image or whichever image, and just make sure this is ticked. Press import. It's going to like have it here. So let me drag down my timeline. So this is the animation. Okay, so how do I remove this green that I'm seeing here? Like I said, there are many effects in After Effects, obviously. But the one I want to use is key light. So just search for key light, key light. That's it here, key light. So I'll drag and drop it on my video. Right. So how you apply this effect is that you see this option here, screen color. So it's asking you what color is the screen. That's the transparent channel now. I'll use this eyedropper tool, right? And click this green here. So it's going to key out that green. So essentially making it a transparent, so removing the background is literally transparent. So anything that has that green, it removes that green from the video. So that means that I can actually now put my own background, add my own things behind. So let me just draw a very, you know, rough thing. So let's say this is my own background. So I can literally do this because the background is, so let me take it behind it, you know, and of course it can be behind it because there is no background. So come up with your own idea. I'll do my own thing here. If I want, you know, be even change the color of this thing to be something darker. Then drag this behind it. Then maybe just do a quick sky, change the color to blue. Right. This is my sky. So yeah, I don't know. You also of course import images, import videos, do whatever you want to do. It's all left to you. But so that's how you can remove the background, add your character, and of course do your own things. Then lastly, I'm going to now import the audio. The character was actually talking, but it was actually saying something here, which is what I was saying. So I'll also come here, import file, just scroll down, should be like the last option there, enable that, and of course drag it to my timeline. So what happened that you will hear the audio, you also see the character moving. So I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm hearing myself, based on the recording I did. Yeah, so that's how you can do your own character, animate it, design it, and of course edit it further if you want. So it's left to your creativity now, what you can come up with and what you want to do. I think I've covered majorly the essential topics from this software. Like I said, it's a very simple software, very fun and interesting software. It's not really that difficult. Um, it's just based on what you want and what you can think of, essentially. Yep, that's all. That's all. These options are not really relevant because you might never use them. It's just the same things here. Yep. So of course, I will also share. I told you to check out this guy on YouTube. Where are you now? Yeah, okay, Samurai. So I'll share this link on the group. So you check him out. Many more in-depth tutorials on how to use the software for more advanced things. But yeah, that's all you probably need for now. So any last questions before we round off for today? If not, that means we're good. Okay, so apparently I guess we're good.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
I have lots of questions, but I'll just watch the video again because I joined very late. So
Okay,
I'll just watch the video then prepare my questions probably on Friday.
okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, so I'll share the
Thank
link,
you.
so just feel free to check it out. Okay. So please, if you've not filled the attendance, please fill the attendance. I shared the link again now, so you don't forget. So I would still stay on this call for some minutes. But once I close it, it has gone. So just do it now if you've not done it before. Yep. Thank you for coming. See you on Friday where we would continue working on our capstone project. Like I said, that's the main thing. This is just like an additional thing. I'm just showing you guys extra things, every time we meet. But the main thing is have your capstone project ready. But that's what shows that you've actually done and learned something. You know. Yeah. So thank you. See you on Friday. Bye bye.